The FA Cup. It's got something for everyone.
One last chance for glory after a hard season.
The kind of glory that tastes so much better when it's been a long time coming.
Of course, my friends, glory is in the eyes of the beholder.
And size isn't everything in this competition. It's no illusion that tiny grounds transform into manic, buzzing arenas.
You see, every fan, every player has dreams.
And for as long as their team is in the cup, they dream of Wembley. With spring in our step and winter well behind us, it's easy to forget that the FA Cup starts in the summer. 736 teams entered the competition this season, with the extra preliminary round way back in August last year.
Whittling them down is a time-consuming process, shuffling the pack to reveal just one winner.
By the first round proper in November, there were just 80. Just. 32 of them non-league clubs, the part-timers. The lowest ranked were Warrington Town.
Warrington will be at home to Exeter City.
Warrington. It's a rugby league town in the northwest, surrounded by footballing powerhouses in nearby Liverpool and Manchester. Would an FA Cup tie with League Two Exeter City grab the locals' attention? You bet it would.
If you've ever wondered how, why, or where the clichés associated with the FA Cup come from, there was a big clue at Cantilever Park on a cold night in November. It was pure magic.
With the smell of fried onions wafting over the ground, there was an air of anticipation as the locals got kitted out and convinced themselves an upset was possible.
It's 11v11. You've got a chance of making history.
Warrington boss Sean Reid needed no such convincing. 100 league places between them and Exeter may be, but tonight they were equals.
4 divisions between them, but for one night, anything is possible. It's in! Robinson! What a start for Warrington Town! Is there an end product? Oh, there nearly was.
It's unbelievable pressure from Exeter.
Somehow Warrington survive off the line.
Wow, what a game. What an atmosphere.
The FA Cup is at it again. Warrington Town, 100 places below Exeter City, have a night they never ever dreamt of. A giant killing to kick off the FA Cup first round.
In 90 minutes, normal, working men had become heroes, giant killers. Warrington was no rugby league town that night, and they celebrated together.
Tell us about some of the heroes out there tonight, Sean.
So many, every one of them, pal. Died for me, died for me. We'll go again.
The FA Cup was up and running with another famous upset. Of course, more would follow, but the great thing about this competition are the stories that accompany the results. Chelsea FC from the conference beat League Two Southend.
Their winning goal scorer, Craig Munn, became a father of twins 24 hours earlier. He only played after his wife kicked him out of hospital, telling him to get out there and do him proud. Round 1 would also remind us of how the mighty have fallen. 2008 winners Portsmouth lost in a replay to non-league Aldershot. And in the Midlands, 1987 winners Coventry City face Worcester City of the Conference North, a team 65 places below them in the league ladder.
Headed clear, but the shot for Guinness! Sean Guinness doubles the lead for Worcester City!
Unadulterated joy. But could the cup run continue? The Blues took League One Scunthorpe to a replay. The tie was to be settled at Agborough on the last Wednesday before Christmas.
All the big men are forward, of course, for the League One side, and Madden was there! Scunthorpe had the lead! Well, it's a heartbreaker, that, for Worcester City. Geddes. MT. Geddes again, this is brilliant so far! And it's produced an equaliser! What a goal!
The sides were still level after extra time. 210 minutes of action, and the team separated by 62 league places couldn't be separated. A conundrum with only one answer: penalties. Not just any penalty shootout, this was the longest in the competition's history. Miguel Lera had already missed an effort that would have put Scunny through. With the score tied at 13-all, it was the Spaniards' turn to step up again.
And this time he put Scunthorpe United through with the 32nd penalty.
After 2 games, extra time and penalties, we had a winner. But it was the sort of tie that neither team deserved to lose.
Hartlepool United will argue they didn't deserve to lose in round 2 either. They played non-League Cup specialists Blythe Spartans, a team like so many at this level who juggle their football with proper jobs, factory workers, publicans and paper boys, but all players. Players who want to look sharp on their big day in front of the cameras.
Is that okay?
Lovely, thank you.
Someone tonight is going to be a hero. Just make sure that hero comes from this dressing room. Good luck, lads.
Come on!
France is there, and Hartlepool are in front. It's a deserved lead. Turnbull, oh, brilliant! Brilliant goal by Steve Turnbull for Blythe Spartans.
The FA Cup is gripping and uniting people again. For the Blythe fans, the emotions rose and fell in harmony as they watched the clock tick towards 90.
Harewood, oh, now has it crossed the line? Harewood thought it had, and the officials say it hasn't. Rivers for Blythe, can he win it here? Rivers, he can! And Blythe Spartans have done it again. The kid who works in his mother's newsagent has just written his name across the back pages.
For the players and supporters, the realisation of the achievement was only beginning to sink in, and as the celebrations unfolded, there was a sense of friendships being forged by an unforgettable experience.
Having gorged ourselves with food over Christmas, the new year sees us gorge ourselves with football as the festive fixture list bulges. But among the many league fixtures, one weekend stands out as the FA Cup shifts up a gear.
This is where the big fish join the minnows. Welcome to the draw for the 3rd round of the FA Cup.
A packed audience awaited the live draw in the Hull Aquarium. Just 5 non-league clubs remained, hoping to swim, not sink, among football's elite. Joined by 20 Premier League clubs in the hat, what chance of a lucrative draw? You do the maths.
AFC Wimbledon are at home to Liverpool.
Valentine's Day was 6 weeks away, but there was still talk of romance. This corner of South London ain't exactly Paris. But trust me, nights like this are intimate, passionate and special. Liverpool's trip to AFC Wimbledon threw up memories. Nostalgia. The famous 1988 Cup-winning Crazy Gang.
Well, the Crazy Gang in its time was different. That kind of fits with me. You don't really see many players like me.
Up front for Wimbledon was Adi Akinfenwa. Liverpool may have taken an early lead, but the beast refused to be tamed.
Off the bar and put in by Akinfenwa. It's the beast.
With the home crowd absolutely buzzing, they probably thought it was too good to be true. They were right. Another Gerrard goal won it for Liverpool on the week he announced he would be leaving his club at the end of the season.
Steven Gerrard scores his 2nd of the night. He writes his own scripts.
Of course there were upsets. There always are. The biggest was League One Sheffield United's victory at Queen's Park Rangers.
Campbell Rice gets it back, still got it, he's fired the ball in! QPR 0, Blades 3.
There was drama too. There always is. At Upton Park, the keepers were required to settle an all-Premier League tie from the penalty spot.
West Ham have won at Everton. How cruel to lose because your goalkeeper hits the crossbar.
In the third round, however, we yearned for fairy tales. And the fairy tale looked very much like continuing for Blythe Spartans.
Robbie Dale, 2-0! Blythe Spartans are writing their name all over this season's FA Cup.
Birmingham, however, had no care for fairy stories.
Back out for Duffy to take his time and pick his target. Thomas again. And they've scored 3 goals in the space of 6 minutes. Blythe Spartans' brilliant FA Cup run ends in round 3.
So it was back to earth for the scorer of Blythe's brace, Robbie Dale. He was at work the next morning, opening up his mum's pub. Regardless of the result, you can always rely on a mother's pride, or in the case of Bolton debutant Zach Clough, a grandmother's pride.
Jimmy, my face is burning up. We've been waiting 12 years for this. He's been at Bolton since he was 8 years of age. Oh, I'm getting all upset now.
Bolton were through to the next round at the expense of local rivals Wigan. Mavis found herself trending on Twitter.
Round 3 also saw a repeat of last year's final as Hull came to North London. There was far less drama this time, which was fine by me. Arsenal's maestros conducted, cajoled, played like this. You see why we call it the beautiful game.
Sanchez can turn into the stage. A moment of brilliance. And Arsenal are heading through.
The rest of the Premier League's big guns also made it through comfortably, but they weren't going to get it all their own way in round 4.
I'm reminded of a quote from the film The Usual Suspects. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. It was no trick, but Bradford had slipped through the early rounds of the Cup pretty much unnoticed. At Stamford Bridge, that was about to change. Chelsea, billionaire owner, superstars, Premier League leaders, would-be champions. No one gave us a chance, and for a while, it looked like they were right.
Chelsea 2, Bradford 0.
But like all great magic, there's always a surprise. One moment of wide-eyed wonder. Well, actually 4.
To Stead, who shoots!
Everybody calm down. My head's about to explode.
It's Bradford City 3, Chelsea 2. What's they going to do with it? Oh my God! Oh my God!
It's actually real. Pinch me.
Bradford City are beating the greatest team in the country by 4 goals to 2.
Even when you've been tricked, you can still appreciate the magic.
I think this is the beauty of football, where a much better team can lose. More possible to happen in this competition because the mentality of the small teams is really special.
As Jose said, only in football can this happen. Expecting the unexpected is all very well, but you don't expect it to happen twice in the same day.
In East Manchester, the Blue Heart City, like Chelsea, every inch a 21st century footballing superpower.
Come on, boys, come on, boys!
They faced Middlesbrough, a team who have soared in competition before, but have since fallen on harder times. On this Saturday afternoon, the ambitious championship side looked to spread their wings.
Bamford through the middle. Bamford found. Bamford brought down. Advantage. Goal. 2-0 Middlesbrough. They're going through. Manchester City are out. It's another wonderful story from the greatest competition of all.
City and Chelsea out. 2 huge upsets on a defining day in this year's FA Cup.
The other giants of Manchester United travelled to League Two, Cambridge. The picturesque city, famed for its academic rather than footballing prowess, was transformed as night fell. The Abbey Stadium provided a backdrop and atmosphere that would take the Premier League superstars out of their comfort zone. You wonder what the likes of Di Maria and Falcao made of it all. This shouldn't have been a contest, but a contest it was. And a Cambridge United squad that cost precisely nothing held one whose combined transfer fees were nearly £200 million.
Brilliant save! Oh! The whistle has gone, and Cambridge United are heading for an Old Trafford replay.
The U's deserved a replay, but their best opportunity of making round 5 had gone. Back in familiar surroundings, we won comfortably. Finished 3-0.
In another tie that went to a replay, Liverpool required 176 minutes to break Bolton's defensive resolve. The Wanderers' lead gone. It was something rather special that broke their hearts a couple of minutes later.
What a special strike to win it for Liverpool.
This was Steven Gerrard's 700th appearance for Liverpool. He'd celebrate his birthday on final day, his last match for the Reds if they made it that far. A little prematurely perhaps, people were beginning to talk about this being his competition.
It couldn't happen again, could it? The TV guys didn't think so, but over 24,000 Yorkshire men and women did.
The game against Sunderland was our biggest crowd in 50 years. Bradford's players certainly believed, and it didn't take them long to prove us right.
That's where the ball's going into that mix-up. It's come all the way through to Clark, it's deflected, Bradford City score! It bounded in off John O'Shea, who was helpless. Hasn't that got the place rocking? 2.5 minutes. Bradford City are at it again. Johnson forced into the error. Johnstead sidesteps Brown, beats Manoni. Massive goal for Bradford City. Bradford City do it again.
The shock this time was it wasn't a shock. Sunderland have a nasty habit of losing to teams from lower divisions, and they could now focus on Premier League survival. As for the Bantams, we were flying into the quarter-finals.
It couldn't happen again, could it? In Borough's case, the TV guys thought it could. After winning at Man City in round 4, they went to the Emirates to face the holders, hopeful of upsetting the odds again. It's never gonna happen. Nah, never. Every player, every man had a touch in the build-up to our first goal.
Alexis Sanchez, lovely turn. Welbeck, Santi Cazorla, oh, great intelligent ball to Gibbs. Brilliant goal. Olivier Giroud scores it. That's a goal of rare quality.
Giroud's second sealed the deal nicely.
The competition was taking shape. Arsenal, United, Liverpool and Villa, all through. There were underdogs, Bradford of course, Reading and Blackburn, who saw off Premier League Stoke City.
Josh King sent the championship team into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup.
Like most places in Britain, football is a huge part of community in the Midlands. Around here, quite appropriately, you're all kinds of blue. Claret and blue, sky blue, white and baggies blue, or just blue. And gold, I guess. Anyway, whatever you are, your team is the talk on the streets, at work, or wherever you choose to lubricate life's troubles. Success can lift the community, but there's not been much of that around here lately. Actually, it's been blue, really blue. You wouldn't believe how quiet 40,000 fans can be if they're anxious, bored, or stripped of belief. We began to get our belief back in the last round. A new boss, a fresh start,
The deadlock is broken.
and goals. 2 of them. Something felt different.
Villa through. Is this a change in their fortunes?
And so, to another Midlands clash in the quarter-finals.
After the darkest of winters, the sun was out, the mood was bright, the players had a strut as they walked into Villa Park, like a weight had been lifted from their shoulders. The prize on offer was a trip to Wembley, and of course, those precious local bragging rights. What started with a dignified handshake between the villains and the beggars became rather more ferocious.
Played to Delph in space. Into the lead. Sinclair checks inside and shoots and scores and wins the tie. It's all over, but what you're seeing there is not right and has soured the day, I'm afraid.
Yes, some went too far, but I ask you not to judge without giving thought to the context. For the most part, these were joyous scenes, fans of all ages and backgrounds drunk on a cocktail of euphoria and relief. This might just have been the best and the worst of the game we love, summed up in a single moment. The sort of voyeurism, vanity, passion and delight that only football can deliver.
It was the quarters, and it was getting serious. Bradford couldn't rely on the element of surprise anymore. They played their hand to perfection. But now, their cards were on the table.
Suddenly they were expected to win. With all the hype, you'd be forgiven for forgetting Reading were actually in the league above. The first game was not pretty. The replay wasn't much prettier. But I guess the Reading fans will disagree with me on that one.
The near post, it's in! Reading making the early breakthrough. Cleary able to run at the defence again. Oh, and it's 2! An extraordinary start for Reading. Here come Reading once more. Could fall for Jamie Mackey! 3-0.
It was quite a crazy time for us. My wife was overdue with our third baby. The baby came on the Friday and we had the game on the Monday. It's a great time for me and the family.
Football and life intertwining again in the FA Cup. And just like life, the competition moves on.
Could Blackburn join fellow Championship side Reading in the last 4?
Facing Liverpool in Liverpool, it seemed unlikely, but not for the first time in the competition. The Reds couldn't break down the stubborn defence at Anfield. And not for the first time in the competition, they faced a replay in the Northwest.
Nearly 30,000 here tonight to see if Blackburn can reach the Cup semi-final.
Not for the first time in the competition, the Reds were rescued by a bit of Brazilian magic.
Coutinho in behind here. Coutinho, 1-0 Liverpool. Liverpool Football Club are into the semi-final of the FA Cup.
There are 2 things that big clubs want from any draw: a home tie and to avoid another big club. We got half of that right in the quarterfinals. Old Trafford, tick. Arsenal, not so much.
They call it the theatre of dreams, a stage that's been graced by greats of the game. But the past don't count for much on nights like this, even if it means more to some than others.
We don't follow no crowd. They follow us, don't follow no sound. They follow us.
Knockout football, winner takes all.
Monreal! And that's 1-0 Arsenal. Di Maria onto Rooney! Arsenal weren't in the lead for long.
The match was super hyped, super fast, furious football that lived up to its big-time billing. The irony was, it was settled by a guy United thought wasn't big enough for them.
It's Danny Welbeck! Welbeck at Old Trafford with a goal against Manchester United for Arsenal.
This is a club that's meant so much to me, and they still do. And I'm a Man United fan, and it's quite hard to knock them out of the cup.
Beating Man United was sweet. We now had Wembley back in our sights.
And what a sight. A first glimpse of the arch for 90,000 fans descending on the home of football.
The Gunners versus the Royals. A massive day out. A day to wear your colours with pride, to smile, laugh and enjoy the occasion.
But with so much at stake, you can feel the nerves kick in. Performers, players, they need them to get up for the game. As spectators, you're helpless, at the mercy of your team.
Ozil, what can he create from here? A little bit of room to pick out. A great ball. Sanchez, great feed, 1-0. They'll be on their toes here, Arsenal. Nothing's won yet. It's a goal! Towards the near post and off the woodwork. Great header. Still going Chalobah. Oh, fortune, Chesney.
Tension from the start, and tension after 90 minutes. For the fans watching, and for the players whose aching muscles have to survive extra time.
Alexis Sanchez. Federici has let it go through him, and Arsenal are in front. Oh, what an awful moment for a goalkeeper.
Hero to villain in a second is such a cruel game.
The hero in the second semi apparently writes his own script.
Steven Gerrard was eyeing up a final in Liverpool red on his birthday of all days. The game against Villa started very much to script.
Continue 1-0! Scored the winner in the 4th round replay at Bolton and in the 6th round replay at Blackburn, and he gets one in the semi-final.
But Villa were revitalised, reincarnated under Tim Sherwood. And they hadn't read the script.
That's on the scene from Villa, dealt in the penalty area. Benteke, 1-1! And Liverpool's lead lasted 6 minutes. Game on!
A young Birmingham lad, unburdened by the past, played as if he was on the local wreck. A performance Gerrard himself would have been proud of.
Here's Grealish. Into Fabian, down, front to his right, but it scores! Aston Villa ahead! The FA Cup semi-final has been turned on its head!
Fantastic play from Grealish.
Villa victorious. Make no mistake, this was a shock. To him, to them, and if we're honest, even to us. So Aston Villa face Arsenal in the final. Not the script many predicted, maybe. But if the FA Cup was predictable, we wouldn't love it as we do.
We're gripped by twists and turns.
We delight in the upsets, the magic.
The FA Cup is at it again.
We are humbled by unlikely heroes.
We're in awe of the superstars.
There will never be another day for us to be.
So you see, it's simple. In the FA Cup, there's a bit of something for everyone.
And we'll